What's up? What's up? What's up? Steffen, nice to have you here.
Yeah, same. It's been a while since the last stream I did, and always remember opening that OBS is just always some
Making you
kind of
sweat?
pain because I'm always prepared for something going wrong.
Yeah, it's that mindset, Steffen, that
I
made
know,
you
but
stick to cash game rather than tournaments. Today is going to be about our announcement which isn't so fresh anymore. It's been a couple hours old already. We mentioned it yesterday already. Steffen is going to be coming on as our new cash game head coach, building the entire cash game section. And we're all very, very hyped about that. And yeah, I'm super hyped about it. I'm really, really happy to have you on the team, Steffen. And I would actually also love to hear from your perspective. What excites you about it? Why did you decide, like, hey, I want to do that?
I mean, maybe I guess lots of the people in here have actually seen the video portray we did about me on YouTube. So it's on the one side, just I mean, I would be lying if I would phrase it otherwise. It's just life circumstances, right? I enjoy a lot to have kind of a normal schedule, to have like somewhat normal work. I mean, I'm still kidding around with like I was super busy today. Obviously, I wasn't, right? So this is one part, and the other one is that I want to want to dig deeper into what I actually enjoy, right? The older you get, and I feel the same for you, the more you think about life in a way like, okay, what actually gives you something, right? Is it the grind, like 2 hours and then leaving, or is it something else, right? See other people grow, for example. And yeah, when I moved back to Germany last year, it finally made somewhat sense to do more coaching, right? Just a tax thing before. It's just, yeah, it doesn't make sense when you play high stakes before. And that was one point that I decided to do more private coachings. And I did that last year and I enjoyed it a lot. I had great students. I loved it from pretty much all, I mean, not all levels, but super motivated guys. And I just felt, okay, accompanying them on their journey is something where, yeah, we kept messaging so much, and some of them are pretty much my study buddies in a way right now, where like when I'm playing I write them on the side, and the same thing pretty much is true for them. And yeah, one thing that annoyed me all the time was, well, actually, obviously I try to customize everything as much as possible to the specific student, but lots of things, they will stay the same. How I think in that spot, how I think about how I approach things here, that I thought, why do that every time again, right? So I wanted to make it accessible for more people, right? Do it in the right way and then provide it to as many people as possible, to learn together with as many people as possible. Because every time someone talks to me about poker, I have the feeling I get something from it, right? Either I learn something poker wise, or I get a totally new perspective. It might be super wrong, but still it gives you something, right? It's like, I mean, the same thing that when we met, I will never forget like one certain hand history. Maybe we get to that later. I don't want to keep talking nonstop, but yeah, that's something where I decided, hey, let's do that, but let's do it in the
Do,
right way, right?
do you mean the one where on each street?
Exactly this one. It is five of
Yes.
spades, six of spades, and someone tells me to blast it off on ace, king, queen, rainbow when checked to me in a 3-bet pot. Maybe you remember it.
Because they never have it, bro.
That's not the question. The question is, or you said they will never call the river. And actually, you are happy when they call the two streets. Okay, now we are too deep into it. I need to tell it. So it is 2014. I'm playing Zoom 500. I open race 5-6 suited on the cutoff. Small blind 3-bets. I make a standard call. This still is true nowadays, I guess. And Fedor is just like crossing my back, just having a look. As was like kind of a casual thing that he just like looked over my shoulder. What is he doing there? And then the board comes ace, king, queen, rainbow without my backdoor flush draw. and it's checked to me. And my thought process was like, blah, blah, range bullshit, blah, blah. I have nothing, 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 so I will put it in my check back twice bluff river range. Which is, theory-wise, probably one of the only things that makes sense. Because once bet and getting called, I have 0% equity against anything that calls me. But Fedor said, how can you not triple it off here? And I think he was definitely right. And I was not playing max EV in the. I played the more okay poker back then. I'm pretty sure, at least in the cash games there. But he made more money in that because back then something like balance and checking aces and kings with what you probably meant, saying, hey, they never have it, was just a thing. They check call their ace 5, they check call their king jack, they check call their pocket jacks. And all the hands I just mentioned, none of them will call a river bet on a brick run out. So it's like just the triple was printing money, and I'm pretty convinced of that, but was just out of this world for me. Like, how stupid can you be? If you do that, you do it with everything. And you're just sitting there like, yeah, then do it with everything because it works. It's like, okay, rock, the good old rock.
I think it goes both ways, right? There were lots of hands also where when you try to apply this more basic, actually, right? It's not super much more advanced. It's actually more basic. It's like, he doesn't have it, so I'm just gonna blast off every hand. Like it is a pretty basic way of thinking. So obviously that also leaves more room to make mistakes, because if that base assumption is wrong, then you're just gonna start doing some really, really dumb things. But I think the beauty of it for me, why it was so valuable for me to talk to you, and maybe also valuable for you to talk to me, is because it helped me center myself, and I was shaking your way of thinking around of like, okay, why do you believe what you're believing? Is there a better way of approaching it? And that's why I always loved, you always told me, like when I was doing some dumb shit, you were my censor to like, oh, maybe I overstepped a little, or maybe this didn't make sense.
And I mean, it's one thing doing it consciously because it works, or the other thing, just doing it because it feels like it with this hand, right? It gets a mistake once you blast it off with this hand, but you check back pocket fives, right? Which is actually the same hand, showdown value wise. None of those hands will ever win at showdown. But pocket fives probably have 8% equity to beat villain's calling range, just like picking up a set on the turn or a river. And therefore 8% to win a huge pot is a big deal. So my thought was more like, okay, I have potential bluffs, and I need more screen for that. It's like this amount of potential bluffs. Yes, and I tried to pick the best ones because that was my approach. I cannot take everything, which I guess is the mistake at the same time, right? Like we want to leave room. If I have a reason to do so, I want to take everything, and this is clearly what you were ready to. But yeah.
I maybe just to sum that up in a way, to take that away, is I think what's very important in poker, or generally in similar environments, is where there's super complicated and everyone is kind of just guessing and evolving their own strategies, to choose your sizing based on your confidence. And I don't mean sizing in terms of your bet sizing, but I mean it in terms of, if you're really confident in something, go for it to the absolute maximum. And if you're not very confident for something, don't go after it. And I think that's the thing that I haven't done enough, is whenever I was in like when I just did that middle thing of like, I was not really going after the things I was very confident in, and I went a bit too much after the things I wasn't confident in. That's when I wasn't playing great. But when I did the opposite, I was absolutely crushing, because I think hammering after these things where you feel you have an advantage, where you're quite certain, like that's the thing you want to go after, abuse it to the absolute maximum. I feel that's a good takeaway, has been for me, in terms of bringing that confidence factor in.
Yeah, and I think to understand that, it always helped me to understand, where does that feeling, I hate that word in poker and you know that, where does that feeling come from? And well, for me nowadays, after playing more than 5 million hands of cash game, it's not a feeling anymore. It's just my experience in a way, right? If you translate that to normal business, right? Obviously, some kind of manager who is 50 has like some more knowledge than someone who is 30, because he has been in those spots maybe a couple of times. And there, I'm really meaning it with a couple of times. And I've been in those spots maybe 100,000 times. And if my feeling is that this is working or not, there's just more right about it, right? It's just, I can say that this is, it is just how it is. And well, then we can dig deeper for reasons, but it's just like, that helped me with that understanding, which back in those days, it was tough, right? Where it was really like two worlds meeting each other in a way.
So we're talking about two worlds meeting each other, and now they're reuniting 6 years later, with you and Cash Game coming to Pokercode, which I'm very thrilled about. For everyone who's who is maybe not as deep into it now as I am, after we talked a lot about the content and how you plan to structure this, give everyone listening a little insight into what's going to happen. Like, what's your plan with Cash Game and Pokercode?
So first of all, reading the chat, well, there's no checking at all. Ace, King, Queen, small blind versus cutoff. Check your solver. It is wrong, right? There's lots of checking actually. But okay, that's a wrap up now. And now let's talk Pokercode Cash. So what is there in the pipeline for you? First of all, I want to talk about what is different to anything else that is out there. Because it's just, I can tell you because I did it. And one thing I did not want to do is just sit here in my room, record 100 hours of videos and content and stuff, and then release it to you for some kind of whatever price, right? So I believe in the journey, which just means, well, we need the community. I want you guys to work together, right? I want you to discuss stuff that is new. And I think there's actually pretty good accessible information out there in a way. And I see that as some kind of content libraries. And I could just put another content library in your face. But who is the person that tells you where to go first, where to go next, and where to go then? This is something that is missing everywhere in my eyes. I'm always missing structure in it, because I see poker as a game that you cannot put in a list, right? Starting at 1, and then there's topic 10, and then there's topic 30, and when you finish 100, you are the perfect poker player. This is not how it works. And if you guys watched my streams, you've probably heard that a couple of times already, and I will repeat it over and over again. For me, poker is like a multi-discipline sports. Right? So we have different disciplines. You need to be good at a single raise pot in position in certain spots. You need to know how to defend versus 3 bets out of position. Very, very different things. You need to be good at each individual spot. You can learn them, like this one first, then this one. But there's more about it, which makes a good poker player. And if you think about my comparison to sports, it's something like, well, if you want to be good in football, something that would help you probably would be being in shape, first of all, right? Would be having good touch to the ball, would be having like a good view on the field to just like see your teammates, which is something that is not just helping you in one situation, but in lots of them. And this is what I see in poker as well. And just now coming to the content I will provide on Pokercode Cash, I will split it up in pretty much 2 ways. And the first and for me most important way is those general concepts, right? I call it general concepts like that physical strength, whatever. This is just stuff that can help you in lots of different areas of poker. Right? One of them or actually I can just tell you because I recorded it yesterday. So it's like the first one is, how do I approach any poker spot, right? So the word any is in there already. It's not about how I play the flop. It's not about how I play the turn or the river or how I think pre-flop or post-flop. It's how I approach and think about every poker spot. That will contain something like, how do I structure my studies in poker, for example. This will contain, well, some fun games around it maybe. Some other concepts, maybe we'll take a little look in the future. We have the look-alike principle, we have the dice principle, we have like some other fun words. And this is all about stuff that can help you in multiple spots. And that will be there. And the next part is, I call it the training ground, where we really dig deeper into the game tree, one after another, right? Obviously, we need to talk about flop c-bet sizings. We need to talk about double barreling, about probing turn, about 3-bet pots, single raise pots, whatever. And we can go through the whole game tree, and at some point, all of that will be covered, and then there's still room to get better over time. Right? Where you can talk on the flop, you can talk about the flop in general. You can talk about ace-high boards, dry boards, wet boards, monotone boards, straight boards, whatever. We can go deeper and deeper. And now what is the main thing is that, I said it already, I'm not recording 100 hours of videos now and throw it to you. We will start slowly, right? I'm not sure with how much we exactly start, but it will not be the world. And what I want to do is, I want to create the schedule pretty much with everyone together. Right? What are you interested in? What is my input? What is next? To not have that overload problem, right? To go from concepts to training spots and do that in a structured way that makes sense. So lots of talking now. Any questions, Fedor, or is everything clear?
I think that describes very well, or at least for me, it's clear. Maybe if there are questions in the chat, we can answer them. But like, I think I love that approach. I think we both have a lot alike how we like to learn there. We're both lazy bums as well. So for all the other lazy bums out there, it's not about just having 100 videos in front of you and watching them, but it's really about, you're all at one point in your journey, in your poker journey. If you're enthusiastic about improving your game, about having one of the best cash game players in your corner, then that's going to be the right point for you, because you like, that's also what I like about it, right? Like developing the content and especially the spots, depending on what are the issues that people face the most. Is I learned a lot about what content I'm going to make after seeing more of our users struggle with certain things, because they struggled with other things that I was struggling with. And so it was super helpful to just see that. It's like, okay, like this comes up over and over again. So I went deeper into that direction and so on. So I love that approach.
So maybe, we can release that right away. What will be there on the start is a couple of concepts. And the first, there will be 2 pre-flop spots for sure we talk about. And that was fun to read actually, because the first questions within the existing Pokercode community were about pre-flop, and everyone wanted to have charts. So one of the first videos explained will explain how I think about charts. And we will talk, like, I have way more this qualitative view instead of that copy paste, right? This is what is right, and I try to copy that. In my eyes, something like that is, a good baseline, but in the end, always bullshit. I want to understand stuff, right? What gives me incentives to open raise bigger? What happens? Right? We have lots of live poker players as well. How do I adjust to all those 3x's or 4x's or even 5x's on the button? Right? Shout out to Matt Berkey here, maybe. And so that kind of stuff. So we will have 2 on that, right? One, I don't know how much I want to talk about it, but you feel it already. I'm thrilled to talk more about it. So we will talk about action game. We will talk about reaction game, right? It's like setting up a game tree ourselves that we prefer to have, or reacting to whatever villain offers us. That will be something we'll take a deeper look at that pre-flop, and then coming to the first two post-flop spots that I will dig deeper into, and this will be my favorite. I call them money-making spots, right? Those spots where maybe you can guess them. I mean, you have probably seen it, but you might have forgotten. So what can I mean with money? If I tell you money-making spots, what do you think is a money-making spot for me?
I have to think of our Nanonoko spot.
Okay, that is a zero equity spot.
I love the zero equity spots. Flatting where I'm sitting there with 4-7 off on the button, and you open that. I'm thinking, is it profitable to call now or?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm thinking that. I mean, when I transfer to tournaments, then it's mostly been these spots where the thresholds are so high that it doesn't matter what hand I take. So for example, when people have really high 3-bet fold stats, so just population tendency where mostly it's just...
That makes a lot of sense. That's the exploitive part, right away. I just want to say, this is not about exploits for now at all, right? So it's just a certain spot, right? Could be whatever, the turn out of position as the big blind defender. That's not the one. It might be other stuff. So yeah, I'll just tell you what I mean with that. And this is the spots where we have all the advantages that you can have. And for me personally, I always have a list of 3 things. We have positional advantage. We have, actually 4 things. Equity advantage. We have nut equity advantage right now, nut advantage right now, and nut advantage over time, right? When we can look in the future what the turns and rivers can bring. And those spots are, the most obvious ones, the sing-raise pot in position. When we are the button, the big blind is defending. We are in the driver's seat. We are on most boards deciding how that pot will be played out, right? What is our c-bet sizing? Will we start overbetting the turn? Whatever, right? 3-bet pot in position, same thing. Middle position open raises, we have a linear 3-betting range on the cutoff. We have all the strong hands in the world. Villain only calls, so he doesn't have aces anymore. We'll kill him pretty much on any board where he doesn't flop too many sets. So that's what I see as money-making spots. And those 2 things, 3-bet pot in position, sing-raise pot in position, are for me the most important to get started. Once you nail them, that's a very, very, very good baseline. And forget about having trouble with defending 3-bets out of position, right? It's like everyone has that trouble. Obviously, it's great to get better at that. But just nailing the spots where you are in the driver's seat and you make all the decisions is the key to start with. Those will be the first spots. And from then on, I'm ready to discuss anything. I like to keep some structure. So probably a little more about flop and then heading to the turn instead of thinking about fancy river spots first, but I'm open for everything there. So it's like we can discuss stuff. We will have different kinds of content provided. We will have more of those general concepts. I have a few in the pipeline, you know that. I won't release all of them at once. And then we have the chance to go through the game tree, flop, pre-flop, flop, turn, river, and as well getting more and more in depth with every decision point. We can talk about turn brings an overcard, turn brings a rainbow card, turn brings a flush draw, turn brings a flush, whatever. There will be lots of differences to really go into detail. So that's pretty much 2 ways of digging deeper in that training ground.
I'm looking for, that's also the cool thing is Pokercode will stay a subscription and a membership. So basically, if you subscribe, you get access to everything. You're going to have access to my coachings, to Matthias Eibinger's coachings, to Igor's coachings, to Kurt's coachings, to Steffen's coaching. So if you're a cash game player and you maybe play tournaments on a Sunday, you can watch our coachings. I'm going to look forward to watch Steffen's coachings and get back in the cash game streets, because then I can live a bit more normal life while playing some poker. So the crossover is going to be there, and we at Pokercode, we always wanted to have everything in one membership. Like for us, it's not about, oh, you are the cash game guys or you're the tournament guys. It's like we all love the game of poker. We play different formats, we study in different ways, but like I learned, I mean, I said that before, and I mean that is like, I learned the most from people who are not playing tournaments. Probably Steffen is the number one person I learned from in my poker career, and he didn't play tournaments till I forced him, dragged him into the tournament, in the tournament scene. So maybe for you, Steffen, as well, like as a cash game player, how has that been, that transferability between cash game and tournaments, and how was that transition for you?
I mean, it kills your cash game skills for sure. But your way of thinking just gets improved over time. What I feel the most now, where I did benefit a lot, is just working with so many type of players. Right? So I call poker, and with poker I meant cash game, a multidiscipline sports, where cash game is always played with 100 bigs. Well, sometimes a little deeper, but that's it. Actually, MTT is the same thing, but you play it with 80, sometimes with 60, 40, 20, 15, sometimes pre-bubble, sometimes chip EV, sometimes huge ICM, certain pay jumps. So it's actually just way more disciplines, right? And that's just one of the things that if you want to be really good at all of them, well, it's just the list is too long to work through all of them. Obviously, you won't be a specialist anymore in one of the things. So if you want to be the best tournament player can never be the best cash game player. It's like saying the one who wins the decathlon is the best 100-meter sprinter. That just doesn't make sense. But yeah, it just helped me because I got in touch with so many people and different approaches how to learn. I'm even, actually one other thing I just recorded, I always have all that stuff still in mind that I talked through today, yesterday, and the days before. It's just a ways to learn where I had to just commit and say, hey, this is not where I'm good at, right? Where other people are way better and where I will refer right away to the tournament section. Maybe check that out, what Fedor told you there, right? One of them is, for example, the mental game part, right? It's like, one of the things I'm talking about is, okay, just the theory of poker, we will work on that, but that doesn't make you money necessarily if you cannot execute it on the table, right? I always give that example of some people, well, how to boost your performance on the table. Some people drink alcohol to not care too much. Some people do not drink alcohol to have 100% focus. Same with weed. We all know those tournament guys, right? Have the healthy schedule, sleeping well, eating the right stuff before a long session. All of that, right? We're like, okay, maybe my personal goals are a little different than just maximizing the EV of my session, because I like enjoying myself as well, right? Especially in a live setting. But yeah, it's just some knowledge that is part of it. And yeah, coming back to what I was talking about, it's just, there are so many different ways to approach the game. I mean, I live together with Ben CB789 and with Rainer Kempe. Right? This is for you. This is enough of an example how you can approach the game. But for others, maybe. And now I wanna come back from that to talk about Pokercode Cash again, because I think I've seen that question in the chat as well. Who is that actually for? Right? And I thought about that for a while, and I tried to come up with a description of who is that for. I thought about making a super high-end content thing, obviously super expensive for the best in the world and that are not at high stakes yet, but they want to go there. Right? I think I could sit down and make something very good for them. But that's not what I'm after, really, because that's not, yeah, it's cool, but it's 20 guys and that's it, right? And I wanna reach more people and help more people, and therefore I wrote down, this is for everyone who is motivated to get better at poker, right? Who is just here, I want to make more money with poker. I'm not interested in, right? I need those people with a love for the game. And what I will do and try to stick to in all the content I'm providing is just trying to explain everything as easy as possible. So I want to give that one example that I'm heading to right here, is because I just had the name Reiner Kemp in my mind. Today, I explained my thought process on the flop. And if you sign up, you will see that on June 10th, how I try to explain that by talking about Reiner Kemp's wardrobe that he had in Brighton when he lived together with me. So this is the way of trying, like me trying to create pictures to make, maybe for some people that's somehow tough, but I try to make it visible, to make it accessible for everyone. And that's kind of the goal. Whether you are just playing 2 Fridays in the casino and you enjoy a cash game, or you are an L50 or 10 or 25 grinder or anything online who wants to get better. It's not pros only. Everyone is welcome. And I want to create a community where things find itself, right? Where if I think back, I was writing so much in a German poker forum called Poker Strategy back then. And we met through that in a way as well, where I didn't get anything for that. And I was pretty much replying to all the hand histories of people that played lower than me, and that was partly my process of getting better. So I want to create that option as well, that people who might be a little better can help the others, and the other way around, with what we talked about before with that one hand example, just giving different perspectives, asking questions that you would never ask yourself, which gives you the chance to think about that in a certain way. So I need to drink something. So much talking. I don't know. You feel the hype. Hopefully, I'm thrilled to just keep going.
The hype is definitely feelable. So to sum that up, everyone who's really motivated to learn and enthusiastic about poker and cash game, I think everyone who feels like that describes him or her, this is going to be for you. And I can tell you, Steffen explains things very understandable, but he can help someone who plays NL5 or who plays NL 500. Like, it doesn't matter what stakes you play, because it's adaptable, right? You can make it, as you said, in a very complex example where we're talking about more granular things, or in a more broader example, and just adapt that to whatever the situation is. So I love that about it. So for everyone, it's the entire package. So you have everything regarding our tournament content that we have been doing. We will be adding the cash game area with Steffen as your head coach, and there will be 2, 3, 4 coachings a week going forward. So we'll have community coachings, we will have the tournament coachings, we have the cash game coachings, and you can just pick out your curriculum as you want. And the other thing we're going to add on top is Pokercode has been 89 euros per month in the past. And we decided like the maybe logical thing would be like, it's maybe twice the size now, or we add on game. So
let's go back. I want to ask that as a question. So I mean, we are talking about, or I keep talking about, making that accessible for everyone. Like, I mean, I will talk about how I think playing NL5K, and I won't hold anything back. Like this, I mean, I had 3 beers already, so I cannot do that anyways. So this is something I can promise. And now the question is obviously, hey, or first let me explain, it is not a new course, right? I won't use the word course. I try to, at least. Sometimes it's still. But right, it's not something new. It is all within Pokercode. And now the question to you, if you want to participate in that, how much does it cost you extra?
Okay, nothing extra. So we have been at 89 euros per month in the past. We will stay at 89 euros per month in the future, but because we are really happy Steffen is coming on, we will do a cash game launch party. So what that means is, for a limited amount of time till the platform is being upgraded and goes live with Steffen's content, and Steffen starts doing community coachings, you will get the 3-month and the yearly version for a significant discount. So you will get the 3-month subscription for $199, which is like 66 euros per month, and the yearly one for 649, which is 57 per month or something.
For sure, something like that.
It's a 55. Okay, so it's like over a 25% discount for that, and the reason being is very simple. Actually, we want to be working with people long term. So we've seen it in the past. We see it now again with the stream house. I actually find it so funny is we did the grind house, and I think the graph was exactly break even. You know, like 2 months of grinding.
What a stupid project, right? No one made money.
Exactly. Stupid project. No one made money. 9 months later, boom, 1.5 million profit. Streamhouse now, you know, the guys have been grinding for a month, kind of break even. I think Hugh has been winning. And now I'm certain, look at it in 9 months. I'm like, the guys are in chat right now. I'm promising you, they will be playing mid to high stakes and will be making a couple of 100K till then. To get back to the point, so that promotion is going to be going on. You can find all the details on our website as well, pokercode.com, if you want to know more about that. And Steffen, now this is actually the thing I'm most excited about. We talked you into, I want to tell the history of that. So we were brainstorming some ideas, and it got around like you showing some of your play and doing a Twitch stream. And we talked you into streaming 2 hours a day for the next 8-9 days.
I think it's just 7, but maybe 8. Depends on whether you jump in and give us a session as well, where I can just enjoy myself and give stupid comments. But we'll see that. So,
okay, yeah, 7. Yeah, my counting has always been kind of poor. So yeah, that's going to be insane. You're going to play your way up to the stakes, basically.
So yeah, that's maybe cool for some. For me, it's not that exciting to play some hands on stream. But what would make me excited is the promo we put on top of that, right? So actually, you will see me on the Pokercode powered by GG tables the next 7 days. Every day starting at 8 p.m. German time, whatever. I always mess up CET, CEST, I have no clue. Just Google Berlin time, right? And then you will be fine. So 8 p.m., which is pretty much when we started this stream. And I will be playing, and I will jump through the stakes a little. I'm not sure whether I start low and then go high, or I just keep jumping. I will announce in the stream, right? You will see what I'm playing, and you can jump into that pool as well and try to catch me pretty much, right? You can try to win a pot against me, either winning at Showdown, which is pretty easy because I never have it somehow, or you bluff me off, right? I think I don't know whether it's only on the river. Is it on the river?
Only on the river.
You need to bluff me off, and then you have to do certain things. Do you know better? I'm not 100%
Yes.
sure. The promo will be released somewhere exactly, but I'll finish that first, and then maybe you give us the details. And when you bluff me off or you win a pot at Showdown, your pot get doubled, right? So if it's on NL2, unlucky you get your $2, right? But I will play NL200 as well, and that can be quite a juicy thing, right? So, and now Fedor can maybe give some more details.
Yes, so it's basically almost exactly as you said. If you win a pot against Steffen at Showdown, or you bluff him off on the river, and you post it on social media with the hashtag Pokercode Cash, then you get your pot doubled. So it's basically just going to rain hashtags and tags for Steffen, where people bluff him on the river. So yeah, he's always going to play. You're always going to play from 8 p.m. for the next 7 days on. So yeah, let's see. I'm going to be in there. I'm going to try to catch you.
Sure. So I mean, it's great that Pokercode is kind enough to do the promo. I'm not paying out of my pocket, so I'm ready to go crazy myself, right? Make crazy calls, and my goal personally is not to get the maximum amount of money from you guys, right? It is definitely to create the maximum amount of confusion when it comes to certain bullshit hands, for people at the table to look at it and not understand this world. And your job is to make it aware for them, to make them aware that well, there's something going on, right? And if you catch me, that's cool, right? If not, I sit here smiling, talking to you in the stream.
So Steffen, maybe a short strategy talk. So you always fold a turn unless you have it, and you're always going to min raise the river, okay? So just that we...
More or less, yeah. I have to make up my mind how it works exactly. But so far I thought I probably rely on my randomizer as well sometimes to give you a little sweat, right? The goal is that someone is maybe, I mean, I will have a short delay, so the person will not have the biggest sweat actually, but everyone who watches and enjoys the show will get a good sweat. I guarantee that. And yeah, then we are waiting for the tags. And every time, probably Fedor is shaking every time I lose a pot, because he has to wait. If someone is posting on the socials, he needs to double that out of the Pokercode pocket. And yeah, but yeah, I see his smile. He's happy to do so.
As long as, you know, you'll start on the lower limits, then I'm smiling. And then the last 3 days, when you play in a 200, I will be sweating. So
you just try to get the maximum out there, I guess.
Exactly. So last thing, which I'm the most excited about around this whole thing, is I'm really curious what this will turn into, is we will do a giveaway as well. The biggest giveaway we have done so far, but we wanted to do it in a special way because we wanted to get more people the chance to be part of our community, be part of Team Pokercode. And we thought of giving out 10 3-month subscriptions for Pokercode, but it will be in a certain way, and you can write your applications. So Milk, who just did the exclamation mark giveaway, and you can win 3 months of Pokercode as celebrating Steffen joining as our new head coach for Cash Game. And it's going to have all of it included. So our tournament content with all our coaches, our Cash Game content with Steffen as your coach, our quizzes with Curtis and community coachings, our range viewer, anything, our community, which is, in my opinion, the most valuable part, the access to that, just being able to ask all the questions. So there's going to be the form in there, and you can do that every day. So every day for 24 hours, you can fill in the reason why you should win the subscription, and Steffen will be selecting. So Steffen, after the day, you can select who's going to win that day's giveaway.
So to make that clear again, there's no random draw, right?
It's not random.
If you ask nicely, you can get my address and send like nice stuff over here, but I'm not sure whether that will be here in time. So
maybe for the last one.
Maybe for the last one, yes. Then maybe we can make some kind of a deal, but most of the time not. So try your best and try to convince me. Why? Listen. You hopefully listen to everything we talked about. What thrills me up pretty much. What I'm excited about. So if you can convince me that you are the right person who should get the free 3 months of Pokercode to work together with Fedor and myself, I'm pretty sure you have a good shot, right? So little disclaimer, I will only look at the top 5 or something if we get 100 how you call it, applications here. So it's not only my fault if you don't get it, but I'll try hard to pick the best, and I guess we present the best one, right? In a way as well.
Sure.
So be creative, right? Write something cool. I don't want to hear like 10 of those or 100 of those stories that you get randomly as Instagram messages that someone just needs the money so much or something. Just come up with something very, very cool and just tell your story, and that can win you something that can be the start of something big.
I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm excited what you guys come up with. I would love to I mean, I think that's also going to be amazing for us, as if people who are motivated, who really show that they care, who really want to be part of our community, that they then end up being in our community. So yeah, I think that's going to be great. So let's wrap this up. I think there's going to be a lot of streaming ahead for you. I am really excited about that. Now is the time where all of you can ask any questions you have towards Steffen or myself. And we're going to stay here till you can't come up with questions anymore. Okay, Paris is asking when you can expect the first content. The platform launch, the cash game launch, is going to be on the 10th. 8 p.m. on the 10th, we're going to release the new platform. So till then, we're going to do the cash game launch party, which is another week. So 10th is the launch date.
So yeah, just to give it back to you from my perspective here, I will stream in the evenings and I try to record as much content as possible for you guys in the mornings and in the afternoon. And pretty much on the 10th, you get what is there. I mean, I have a clear plan, but let's face it, right? I'm a lazy guy and let's see. But we'll launch on June 10th and it will be a blast and I'm really looking forward to that.
And the new platform is also going to look very neat. So we're going to have our own cash game section and yeah, that's going to look nicely. Bela is asking, what's up, Bela? Will the course also cover live cash concepts, or rather can it be used there too?
Live cash concepts, well, I will talk about general poker. For me, lots of people ask what is the difference between live poker and normal poker. First of all, the game is played the same way. You have one more layer of information that you can use, right? You can look people in the eyes. You see what they do. Maybe it's even more layers than just one. But everything you learn about the game of poker that I will talk about, that will be correct in a live poker setting as well. Because, or even like, especially in the way I do the content, I try to make you a better poker thinker. I'm not like giving you stuff that I want you to copy and paste. I'm not giving you play this chart and you are doing well, because in my eyes that's bullshit, right? That can only be a baseline to deviate from. So far I have nothing planned right now for the start to do a special, hey, this is the perfect live poker adjustment. But as I said, I'm super thrilled to work together with you. And if that is the wish from a lot of people, sure, let's talk about it, right? What is correct? How should we play against someone who plays way too loose, but ends up 4xing at the same time, right? How do we adjust that? Because it's just certain incentives that are given and we need to adjust in the right way. While not getting a big nit on the live table, because that looks like kind of stupid. So yeah, that's definitely something. I hope that answers that question.
Mm-hmm. Jay Rabe is asking, what do you think makes your coaching different than joining a coaching for profit like BitB Cash?
Well, first of all, it is, if you go for the 12 month subscription, it's like 57 euros or something a month, if Fedor's math was somewhat close. And I didn't even try to do it. And I think like BitB Cash, you will pay thousands and thousands if done well, right? So I have huge respect for them. Their goal is really to make people that are on the step, like that beat NL 100 already, right? That beat NL 200, to make them real crushers NL 500, 1000. I have to say that is not my main goal, right? I'm delivering content in a way that everyone can take away something. You will definitely learn stuff, but the content is not customized just for you. A smaller group, maybe you find it there, you will pay 10, 20, 30 times the amount for sure. And my advice would be, check it out, right? Whether it is something for you. Maybe Pokercode is the perfect place for you to find 5 like-minded people, right? Maybe you find your personal Fedor, your personal Julian, your personal Reiner to work with in poker, and then you don't need to sign anything where people have the biggest part of all your winnings anyways.
Mm-hmm. Great question. Thank you, Steffen. Tiger Power is asking, is your teaching heavily based on solvers?
Not at all. So we will use I mean, what does it mean use solvers, right? I grew up poker-wise in a world where solvers did not exist. I see them as little helping tools, right? So maybe I just give you my view on a solver. So for me, I'm running kind of a business, right? And I'm the boss of my business. A solver is like a stupid worker who is very, very, very good at one specific thing. So, and the specific thing is he will answer your question as good as possible. But to answer your question in the best way possible, you need to ask it right. So, what I want to teach you is to understand what is important in poker, to as well use the solver if you wish to find solutions even faster, right? But first you need to learn how to ask the correct questions. And this is, well, I can tell you more or less that in almost any spot you can just ask me and I can give you an explanation what the almost right play would be, and it will be pretty close to what the solver says. And I want that you reach the same thing. So the solver can be a shortcut later for learning processes. But it's not about we look at the solver, we learn it by heart. On that board, we need to do this. On that board, we need to do this because this is our goal to copy a solver. Not at all.
I actually realized that over and over when I talk to other players now, because we were so much in our bubble, or I was in our bubble, where we all thought very similar in that sense, right? We all really, really tried hard to understand how it works, the logic, like what questions do we need to ask? What are when we get answers is what is the question that makes sense to ask here in the first place? And I realized that when I get into a new game, how much that fostered this natural asking questions and this natural really trying to understand the pattern and the logic behind it and so on. And I think that's just what makes us also stick around, right? Because we can just, it comes a new environment, the things change a bit, but it's still about understanding patterns and understanding big amounts of data. So I think if you enjoy that, if you like that, if you're enthusiastic about this learning process and you're curious and you want to understand things better, then I really don't think there's a better environment for you to get input than at Pokercode. So that's what I personally love about the community.
Yeah, I mean, 100%, right? One thing I always learned even more through doing more coachings is that I read that somewhere that using your brain doesn't mean anything but asking the right questions. And what I mean with that is I have so often students that are lost in a spot, right? That's the most normal thing. I don't know what to do here. I don't know how to get there. And everything that they need is not the answer. They only need the correct question they should ask themselves. And then even like the student might be as lost as you could be. If I help them a little with the questions they should ask themselves, and that's the same pattern over and over again, I get incredibly good answers. Right? And this is the same that how you should treat a solver. It's like a solver is a thing that is lost, right? You need to put the right parameters in. You need to know what you want to find out. And then once you have that, you will get the perfect answer, right? Even better than from any human being. But you need to make the best out of it again to understand it in the right way, because there's a big chance, and I would say, I don't know, I don't want to give a percentage, but the amount of people misusing solvers, right, to not really use them to get better in poker must be incredibly high.
High. Damn high. Yeah, it's crazy. I remember when solvers were around first, how many people found like a retreat in solvers. It was this thing that now finally gave them the answers, and they could misplay a hand and go back to the solver and just move the parameters around till it said it's okay.
It's still today. I love those spots where I know I just exploit the shit out of someone. And I know at the same time, he will run that exact hand in the solver, and the solver will tell him, whatever your catch, it's 0 EV frequency call on the river. We're like, sure, and that is pretty much his justification, right? That was fine. Done, right? Hand over. Not even thinking about it. Where, well, maybe he didn't even check out what I did before. How does my range actually look like? Right? It's like, am I ever bluffing on that street before in that way and I end up with a totally different range in that spot and he just paid me off every single time? Or in another way, right? It's like that stuff, it's easy to misuse. That's pretty much the main message.
Yeah. I think 91 Tower has a really great question. Why do you think wine is more important than meditation?
What, wine is more important than meditation? I mean, you cannot compare those two, right? It's meditation. You have to see it on multiple levels. I would say to just boost your win rate and your poker success, there is probably more reason to work on your meditation game, right? Because that can have a positive impact. I doubt that wine can have a positive impact. Maybe in tournament situations where it's helpful that you do not care, right? Some people knit up too much because it's like, oh, it's such a big spot, right? To not care about a flip can help some people. But I see, not my goal in life is not to maximize my dollar EV, right? It is in a way when I go for a poker session, but it's not the only thing, right? If I want to play an evening session and I want to drink a glass of wine on the side, I think that is my perfect life EV instead of, or maybe I could make a couple of bucks more by not living the life I want in the end. So I know that is kind of a fun question, but still it's like, it's a two-sided thing where like, what is your actual goal? And this is something more of a community thing where, again, today I recorded a session where I say, even like you need to talk to other people, especially that pre-game, post-game. I have known so many people throughout my career and I'm not a specialist on that because my goal there was never to just maximize my value, but as well the fun, especially live. And so maybe you need to find your way and therefore you need to know your personal goals with poker. Right? I know Fedor can give you huge input on that, right? You work together with Elliot Rose so much, we can talk about others, right? I know how like Ben CB's cold shower and no coffee rule can work perfectly for some people as well, right? Reiner's watching Gossip Girl on the side is totally valid as well if you are playing 2 tables of tournaments 4 a.m. in the morning. Why not, right? So it's like, there's more than just maximizing dollar EV.
That's true. Good point. I think we're going to wrap it up here. I just want to repeat all the important things of today. First of all, Steffen, I couldn't be happier to have you on board. I also can't wait for our launch to finally have Cash Game on the platform, for you to start creating more content. And I'm excited for the Cash Game launch party. You're going to be streaming every day, 8 p.m. CET, so Berlin time, going forward. There's going to be a happy hour from 8 to 9. So you're going to play Russian Cash on our Pokercode platform. And if you can win something. So if you win a pot at Showdown against Steffen, or you bluff him on the river, make a screenshot, post it on social media, tag him with hashtag Pokercode Cash, and we'll double the pot. So win a hand against him, crush his soul, hunt him. I'm going to be in there. I want you in there too. I want these social media posts to go up. We have to get the goose alive or dead. Doesn't matter. So
reload. No worries.
Reload. That's the second thing. The third thing is we're going to do a discount for all the longer subscriptions, especially for the 3-month one and the yearly one. It's over 25% discount. It's just 199 euros for 3 months. So it's 66 euros per month effectively. And the yearly one is 649 euros for all of it. The range viewer, our tournament content, our community coachings, Steffen's coaching. So basically everything that's in the Pokercode universe, you will have access to. You will have access to our community as well. In our Slack channel, you can ask hand histories. Steffen will answer the cash game hand histories. As tournament coaches, we will answer all tournament hand histories. So I think for like 60 to 80 euros a month, I mean, I would have dreamed of something like that back then. I think the value is incredible. If you break that down, it's like for 10 euros, you can watch coaching by Steffen and have access to him and ask him about hand histories. Like, I think that's absolutely incredible. So if you're enthusiastic about learning about poker and want to improve your game, then that's the spot. Also, it's just some really awesome people. Like, the community is super positive, super helpful. Everyone's going out of their way to help you improve. Like, I think we have the coolest group of people ever. And last but not least, we're doing a giveaway as well, because we want to give people the chance who maybe cannot afford right now for some reason. And there is something you can fill out with the & giveaway. So you click on the link, you fill out why you should be getting the 3-month subscription for free. And every day Steffen will pick a winner. So the next day in the stream, he will pick a winner of the last 24 hours. So you have 8 tries to win a subscription. So today is the first one. You can already go to the form, you can fill it out, you can let him know why you think you should be getting the subscription, and that's it.
I'll pick tomorrow. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Really nice to see so many known faces in there. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. at Steffen's stream, and we're gonna hunt his ass.
Good luck
Steffen,
with
thanks
that.
so much.
Let's
Thanks
wrap
so
it
much
up.
for joining, and see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye, guys.
Cheers, bye.